Good morning. Welcome back to another edition of Rise and Shine Yoga. I'm Paul from the Oxford Yoga Studio in downtown Oxford, 18 North Washington. I want to welcome you again for those of you who have been following me for many months now, and I'd like to welcome those of you who this may be your first viewing of or actually doing a yoga class. So welcome to you. As we near the end of summer, I think next week's September, so like I was telling somebody the other day, this summer went by really fast. So I welcome you. So, as always, let us start in a seated position at the front of our mat. Your legs can be crossed or they can be straight in front of you. Sit up tall. Your hands can be on your knees or in your lap. And as always, let's bow our head, our chin to chest, and as we always do, set an intention for our practice. This intention can be for a family member, a friend, co-worker, the world, the earth, the universe, whatever you'd like to make it. And this intention I want you to use throughout your practice. Use it as a guide, like a GPS, so that at any time during the practice this morning, if you find that you're struggling, that your mind's not cooperating, that your breath is just not cooperating either, come back to the intention, this reason that you're doing this practice. And as I was thinking about it this morning, I think it's even a good thing, and I'm going to start doing it, to make an intention just for our day when we get up in the morning, kind of dedicating our day to someone or something. So with your chest or your chin bowed, let's just seal in that intention. Let's lift our head. And along with our intention, let us go right into that deep yoga breath, that Ujjayi breath. For those of you that are new to yoga, that breath is kind of the guiding breath that we do throughout our practice. It's a deep inhale through the nose and an exhale through the nose, but we're constricting the back of the throat. So we're making kind of like a fogging sound, like a ha sound. So let's do a couple of these deep breaths. So as you can tell, this breath is strong, it's audible, it's very slow, it's very controlled. So sometimes as we do yoga, we sometimes rush our breath, or sometimes we don't even breathe. And the essence of yoga really is breath. It's breath control. So I want you to concentrate as we go through the practice this morning of really getting that breath strong and controlled. Every movement with an inhale, and then we go to the next movement with an exhale. It's very slow and controlled. So with our intention made and our breath, our yoga breath started, let's start to warm up the body. So let's roll forward into hands and knees or tabletop pose. And for those of you that have been following, you should be familiar with this by now. For those of you that are new, want your hands directly underneath your shoulders, your knees directly underneath your hips. Take a quick look back between your legs. If you see your feet, just bring them back behind your knees. We're going to do what's called cat-cows. We're going to slowly warm up the spine. So we're going to inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, round the back like a scared cat. Inhale, drop the belly and lift the head. Exhale, round the back, slowly opening up the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, really round that back. 2 more. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, round the back. 1 more time. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, round the back. Come to a flat back. Now bring the big toes of your feet together. Sit back on your heels and fold forward into our first child's pose of the morning. This pose, as I always tell people, is a pose of comfort. If at any time during your practice this morning you find that you're struggling or that you're just not able to do the poses with proper breath, come back into this child's pose. Because it's not a competition. It's not about competing against your neighbor, your family member. It's about taking care of yourself, of taking care of your body. And that's how I want you to think every time you come to your yoga mat, that you're doing this to take care of yourself. Now slowly, very slowly, come up to hands and knees. We're going to continue warming up the body. We'll do a little bit of core work as well. So I want you to inhale, your left arm straight in front of you, your bicep by your left ear, your thumb up, your gaze to the front of the mat. And just breathe. If this feels good to you, then extend your right leg back about hip level, toes pointed toward the back of the mat. And then release both knee and hand to the mat. We'll do the other side. So inhale the right arm straight in front of you, bicep by the right ear, thumb up. And if that feels good, extend your left leg back, toes pointed toward the back of the mat. And then release. Now we're just going to do a little bit of a flow with that. So we're going to inhale, straighten the left arm, extend the right leg back. Exhale, knee to elbow for a crunch. Inhale, straighten the arm, straighten the leg. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, straighten the arm, straighten the leg. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, straighten the arm, straighten the leg. Exhale, crunch. Inhale. Now bend your right knee, and if you want or it's able, take your left hand and grab your right foot, kick against your hand and look over to the left. And then release. We'll do the other side. Inhale the right arm forward, left leg back. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, arm and leg forward. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, right arm forward, left leg back. Exhale, crunch. One more time. Inhale, right arm forward, left leg back. Crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Bend your left knee. If it's there, grab your right foot with your left hand, kick, and look over your right shoulder. And then release. Now come back into a seated position at the front of your mat. In our next segment, we're going to continue with our standing poses. So get a quick drink of water, catch your breath, maybe towel off, and we will see you in the next segment, continuing with our standing poses, beginning with Sun A. See you in a bit.
High school football game night is a unique experience, uniting a community in so many ways and showcasing other school activities. This grand setting helps kids learn life skills and build lifetime relationships in the safest environment ever, where teacher coaches, equipment, rules, and safety protocols minimize risks. It's a true celebration of participation. Support your local school and its young people who enjoy this privilege.
Take off your hat, throw it in the corner. Take off your hat, throw it in the corner. Take off your hat, throw it in the corner. I don't see why you stay a little longer. I'm talking about Uzu. Woo! Uzu, that's who. Hey, Lamar. Oh, yeah. Come on down. Stay a little longer.
Don't miss Schooling Around with John Ochins, weekdays at 11 in the morning and 10 at night, keeping it local.
I'm going back to school, no more vacation.
for our second segment of Rise and Shine Yoga. We're going to do some of our standing poses in this segment. So I want you to check your feet. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. You're standing up tall. Your shoulder blades are relaxed. And as a quick way to relax your shoulder blades is inhale them up, exhale back and down. Now there's a couple ways we'll do our standing poses. You'll see some teachers with their hands open like this. This is called mountain pose or Tandasana. I tend to do it with the palms together and then open into the mountain pose. But whatever the teacher, there's no right or wrong way to start the standing poses. So we're going to do a few of what's called sun A's. So we're going to inhale the arms up, maybe a little bit of an exhale. Exhale, fold forward over straight legs. Inhale, look up halfway. Your hands can come to your shins if they can't reach the floor. Exhale, plant your hands, bend the knees, step back to the top of a push-up. Make sure your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. You're pressing your heels back, keeping your elbows in tight by your chest. Exhale all the way down to the bottom. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest, up dog. Exhale, uncurl the toes, lift the hips, down dog. And since this is your first down dog of the morning, I know it is for me, you might want to bicycle your feet back and forth very gently. In down dog, your hands are firmly grounded into the mat, arms are strong, legs are strong, core strong. And in most of the poses, yoga poses, all the muscles are engaged. They're all working. There's no muscle taking the easy way out. And actually, by keeping the muscles engaged in all the poses, it makes the pose quite a lot more easy to do. At the end of your next exhale, look between the hands, bend the knees, walk both feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, really reach and rise, coming up to standing. Extend those arms. Exhale, palms together, center of the heart. Right into the next one. Inhale, reach and rise the arms up. Maybe a little back bend. Exhale, fold forward over straight legs. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees, step back to the top of a push-up. Lower all the way down to the bottom. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest, up dog. Exhale, uncurl the toes, lift the hips, down dog. Now keeping your hands and your feet where they are, I want you to inhale and shift to the top of a push-up. Exhale, back. Inhale, shift to the top of a push-up. Exhale, back. One more time. Inhale to the top of a push-up. Exhale, back. That's called pendulum, but it's also a good way to make sure you're properly aligned in your down dog. If you had to move your hands or adjust your feet, that's okay, but ideally we want to keep our hands and our feet in the same position, so we don't want to have to move them. And so I find that this pendulum is a great way to make sure that we are properly aligned. Then of your next exhale, look between your hands, bend the knees, walk, step to the front of the mat. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach and rise the arms together. Exhale, palms to the center of the heart. Continuing with our standing poses, I want you to take a wide stance on your mat. Preferably, you're going to be facing the long end of your mat, but since for me, so you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to stand on my mat, the short end. So spread your legs as far as you can apart. Bring your arms out to a T. And ideally, or eventually, your ankles will be directly underneath your wrists. So over here, we're going to inhale, exhale the hands to the waist. Inhale, little back bend. And exhale, fold forward over straight legs. Maybe your hands come down onto the mat. Maybe you have to bring them to your shin. Maybe you have to put a little bend in your knee. Whatever you need to do, do it. Your gaze should be back between your legs.
If you want a little bit more, bring your hands in line with your heels. If not, that's fine. And of course, deep breath. Come back to that intention. Bring your hands to the waist. Very slowly, I emphasize slowly, come all the way back up. Arms out to a T. The reason I have you come back up slowly out of this pose is we don't want to get dizzy or rush up too fast, so that's why. Inhale, exhale the arms to the waist. Inhale, a little back bend. And keeping your hands on the waist, fold forward over your legs. And I want you to think of bringing your shoulder blades together, bringing your elbows together. This brings us deeper into the pose. Again, your knees can have a little bend in them or a big bend. Your gaze will be back between your legs. Let the head drop. And of course, breathe. Very slowly, come back up to a standing position. Arms out to a T. We'll do one more in this sequence. Inhale, exhale the hands to the waist. Inhale, little back bend. Exhale, fold forward, but this time take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toe. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Again, your knees can have a slight bend in them. If you want to pull yourself more into this pose, bring your elbows out to the side. Release your bind, bring your hands to the waist. Slowly come back up. Arms out to a T. And then step both feet to the front of the mat. Palms together, center of the heart. In our final segment, we're going to do our seated poses and then our closing meditation. So take a quick breath. Maybe get a drink of water, towel yourself off. And we will see you in our final segment of Rise and Shine Yoga.
This is OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford and Addison Townships with the best in local programming. On Charter Channel 191, AT&T UVerse Channel 99, and our website, OCCTV.org. OCTV, we provide local programming that brings you closer to home.
Don't miss Schooling Around with John Ochins, weekdays at 11 in the morning and 10 at night. Keeping it local.
I'm going back to school, no more vacation. I gotta get my say.
You are watching the Michigan American Legion's Station of the Year for the 5th year in a row, Oxford Community Television.
I'm Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard and former Red Wing great Joey Koser reminding you to follow the rules regarding boater safety. Always operate at safe speeds, avoid alcohol, and wear a life jacket. Don't let a great day on the water be ruined by bad decisions.
Welcome back to our final segment of Rise and Shine Yoga. We're going to start standing and then make our way into the seated poses. So I want you to take a big wide stance. Your feet may come off the mat, they may not. We're going to do a little Buddha squat like we seem to do every week. So with your legs wide, come down into a squat. Your toes can be pointed diagonally. Mine are usually that way. I want you to bring your palms together at the center of the heart. And just sit up tall. Your heels and your foot may be flat on the floor, or your toes may be on the floor, but your heels are up. Eventually, your heels will make it to the floor. And from here, I want you to try to put your elbows in between your legs and just pull them open, push those legs open for a good hip opener. So you should have a straight line from your knee, your arms, all the way to the right knee. Now release, take your right hand, place it behind your right hip. Take your left, place it behind your left hip. Slowly make your way to a seated position at the front of your mat. Extend your legs straight in front of you. We're going to start with Dandasana, or staff pose. Your toes are pulled back, you're sitting up tall, your hands are directly by your hips, fingers pointing toward your feet. Your gaze is neutral. Your eyes can be open or closed. And just breathe. Open your eyes if you've had them closed. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, extend the arms. Take your peace fingers, and if you can, wrap them around your big toe for Paschimottanasana A, or Western stretch. If you can't, if your hands don't touch your feet, you can bring them to your shin. And if by chance you have a strap handy, you can wrap it around the soles of your feet. Inhale, come back up, and then exhale, fold forward. And this pose, we don't want to round the back. We want to have a flat back. I want you to envision your heart coming towards your feet. So we don't want our head rounded to our knee. Release your body, come back up to seated. And as always, I give you the option of taking the optional vinyasa. Again, you don't have to. I'm going to this morning. So for those of you that want to, inhale, cross your ankles, extend your arms. Exhale, step back to the top of a push-up. Lower all the way down. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest, up dog. Exhale, uncurl the toes, lift the hips, down dog. And look between the hands and step through to a seated position. Now we're going to do, I'll give you an option. You can either do reverse table or reverse plank, and I'll just show you the two different options. So reverse table, bring your hands behind your hips, bring the soles of your feet flat with the knees bent, and you just inhale, lift the hips for table. That's option one. If you'd like something maybe a little more challenging, extend your legs. Your hands are still by your hips. This is reverse plank. Inhale, lift everything up. Breathe. And slowly lower down. And again, if you have the option for the vinyasa, for those of you that choose, I'll do it with you. Inhale, cross the ankles. Exhale, step back to the top of a push-up. Lower all the way down to the bottom. Inhale, lift the chest, straighten the arms, up dog. Exhale. Uncurl the toes, lift the hips, down dog, and then step through the front of the mat into a seated position. Extend your legs straight in front of you. Inhale, your right knee up. Bring the sole of your right foot on the inside of your left thigh. Your left leg is straight, Your toes on your left foot are pulled up and pulled back. You may have to turn your torso toward your left foot. Inhale the arms up, and then exhale, fold forward. Take a bind either around the foot or on the shin, whatever your body wants to do this morning. Release your bind, slowly come back up. Inhale the right knee up, extend the right leg. Now, traditionally in the Ashtanga, we would do that vinyasa on each side, but this morning we'll skip it. So we're going to do the other side. Inhale your left knee up. Bring the sole of your left foot on the inside of your right thigh. You have to turn your torso towards your right foot. The toes of your right foot are pulled back. You can inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. And again, you can take a bind on your toes, behind your right foot, your shin. Release your bind, come back up to seated. Inhale your left knee up, extend your left leg, and then make your way to lie on your back. I want you to inhale, bend your right knee, and I want you to wrap your hands around your knee and pull your leg, not to your chest, but out to your armpit. It's a little bit of a different stretch. Gaze should be to the sky. Release your bind, extend your leg. We'll do the other side. Bend your left knee, bring your hands, wrap them around the knee, and pull them toward your armpit, not your chest. And I want you to have both feet engaged. Release, bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug, rock side to side. And make your way up to a seated position. Your legs can be crossed. Sit up tall, close your eyes. Bring your hands together at the center of your heart, coming back to that intention, letting go of your breath. As always, it's a pleasure for me to lead you in your practice in this Rise and Shine Yoga class. Enjoy your week, and we will see you again here next week. Namaste.